If I told you that right now, at this very moment, there are hundreds of thousands of microscopic pieces of plastic floating in the air around you, you might laugh. Or you might think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. Because today, plastic is not just something we use, it's something we breathe, swallow, touch, absorb, and live with every minute of our lives. This is the story of microplastics, how they journey through the world, how they break into our bodies, and how humanity accidentally created one of the biggest environmental threats in history. And also, how we can still fix it. Chapter 1: The Age of Plastic. Plastic was once considered a miracle. You see, before 1950, the world barely produced any. Today, we produce more plastic in 10 years than the entire 20th century combined. That's over 400 million tons every year. Almost everything from food packaging, clothing, electronics, toys, cars, medical equipment, beauty products, construction materials, and even your keyboard, your phone, and maybe even the headphones you're using right now. All plastic. But here's the twist. Plastic never really disappears. It only breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces. This is where the story turns dark. Chapter 2: When plastic becomes microplastic. Microplastics are pieces smaller than 5 millimeters. Nanoplastics, even smaller, so tiny they can slip into our cells. They come from breaking bottles, torn plastic bags, clothes shedding plastic fibers, car tires wearing down, artificial turf on sports fields, paint on ships, beauty products, plastic tea bags in hot water, and the breakdown of oceanside waste. Every year, millions of tons of these tiny particles leak into rivers and oceans. But the scariest source: laundry. A single load of synthetic clothing can shed up to 700,000 plastic fibers. These fragments flow into drains, enter rivers, and join a global conveyor belt of pollution. Chapter 3: The Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a floating nation of trash. Picture this. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean exists something almost impossible to believe. A floating mass made of plastic bottles, fishing nets, microplastics ropes, crates, ghost fishing gear, doll heads, shoes, toothbrushes, forgotten toys, and fragments of every plastic item you can imagine. This is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, the largest plastic accumulation on Earth. It's held together by circular ocean currents, called gyres, which trap debris like a giant whirlpool. Scientists estimate area 1.6 square kilometers, weight 80,000 plus tons of plastic, items trillions of plastic particles, microplastics 94% of all debris. It is not one solid island, but a cloudy swirling soup of trash. Underneath the surface, it forms a plastic snowstorm extending downwards like a blizzard in slow motion. It's now home to trapped sea turtles, dead fish, entire ecosystems living on floating trash, bacteria colonies growing in plastic, invasive species using plastic to travel across the ocean. Plastic has created a new kind of ocean life called the plastosphere. I struggled pronouncing that, by the way. But anyway, Chapter 4: The Journey of a Single Plastic Bottle. Let's follow one object, one typical plastic bottle. You drink it, finish it, and toss it in a bin. But recycling, that's where the myth begins. Only 9% of all plastic ever produced has been recycled. About 12% has been burned. The rest, it's in landfills, rivers, oceans, or floating around the planet for centuries. What's crazy is one bottle thrown away today will outlive you, your kids, your grandkids, and your great-great-great-grandkids. These bottles drift down storm drains and get pushed into rivers like the Ganges, Nile, Mississippi, and finally reach the ocean. And once they're there, sunlight breaks them down, waves tear them apart, fish eat them to pieces, birds feed them to their chicks, and humans eat the fish. The bottle becomes part of everything. Chapter 5. The food chain is contaminated. Although bottled water and tap water are the single largest source of plastic ingestion on a global scale, foods like shellfish, salt, beer, fish, shrimp, squid, oysters, anchovies, octopus, and even deep-sea species that live thousands of meters below contribute to the 5 grams of microplastics the average person consumes every week. Yep, that's about the same weight of a credit card. But, here's the twist again. These findings may be an underestimate. Why? Because the microplastic contamination of food, staple foods like rice, wheat, bread, milk, corn, pasta, and oils are yet to be studied. But I love what the WWF says here, and I quote,
"These findings serve as a wake-up call to governments. If we don't want plastic in our bodies, we need to stop the millions of tons of plastic that continue to leak into nature every year. In order to tackle the plastic crisis, we need urgent action at the government, business, and consumer levels, in a global treaty with global targets to address plastic pollution,"
like me,
said Marco Lambertini, WWF International Director General.
Chapter 6. Plastic inside our lungs, blood, and brains. Now, my friends, we turn to the most shocking part, microplastics in lungs. Researchers recently found plastic inside the deepest parts of human lungs, including polypropylene. You'd swear I didn't have chemistry in school. PET, acrylic fibers, nylon fragments. They were shocked. These areas were once thought unreachable. Plastic in human blood. In 2022, a groundbreaking study detected microplastics directly in human blood for the first time. Particles were found in 80% of samples. This means plastic can travel through the bloodstream and move into organs. Microplastics in the brain. This is even more shocking because nanoplastics have been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier, one of the body's most protective systems. Imagine. Babies are even exposed before birth. Studies have shown that microplastics are in the placenta. Newborn babies first poop formula made in plastic bottles. They air inside NICU hospital units. Infants breathe and swallow more microplastic than adults because they crawl close to the carpets and chew on plastic toys. So if you have a kid, be careful. Chapter 7. How plastics affect the body. Scientists are still discovering the full health impact. But here's what we already know. Microplastics can cause inflammation. They may interfere with hormones. They can carry cancer-causing chemicals like BPA. Nanoplastics can damage cells and DNA. Some plastics mimic estrogen, impacting reproductive health. Plastic can disrupt gut bacteria. They may increase the risk of respiratory diseases. They weaken immune system responses. Unfortunately, this is not science fiction. This is happening right now, and we are to blame as humanity. Chapter 8. Cleanup technologies, hope rising. Here's the good news. Okay, humans are fighting back. The Ocean Cleanup Project, a massive floating barrier system, now collects plastic from the giant Pacific garbage patch. Each haul removes tons of floating debris, plastic-eating bacteria. Scientists discovered bacteria and enzymes that can digest PET plastic in hours. Plastic-eating fungus, a type of mushroom, can break down, I can't pronounce that, even in dark environments. Washing machine microplastic filters. Some countries now require filters that catch plastic fibers before they enter waterways. Biodegradable plastics. New bioplastics made from seaweed, cornstarch, or sugarcane dissolve faster and don't produce microplastics. Youth movements. Kids and teens worldwide are leading beach cleanups, protests, and zero-waste challenges. Plastic bans. Many countries are banning plastic straws, plastic bags, foam containers, micro beads. Change is happening. Chapter 9. How this crisis became a wake-up call. The plastic problem is no longer something out there. It's inside us, in our bodies, in our food, in our future children. And strangely, This is what makes people act. Humans are motivated by personal impact. And what could be more personal than knowing plastic has reached your lungs, your bloodstream, your digestive system, your brain, and your children before they're even born? This crisis is forcing humanity to rethink everything, and I'm glad it's happening. Packaging, fashion, industry, manufacturing waste, and even products we use every day. We are living in a time where society realizes we are not separate from the environment, we are part of it. And nature. Okay, nature's the environment. What we throw away never really goes away. Chapter 10. What you can do today. Here's how anyone listening right now can make a real difference, including myself, don't worry. Avoid single-use plastics, like straws and bags and cutlery. Choose reusable bottles. Wear natural fibers when possible. Use microfiber catching laundry bags. Support eco-friendly brands. Sort and recycle properly. Don't burn plastic waste. Join local cleanup events. Educate others. Awareness spreads fast. Vote for policies that support the environment. Every action counts, and millions of small actions create global change. And remember, the plastic crisis didn't happen overnight, and neither will the solution.